Hello and welcome to the Tech on Toast podcast. My name's Chris Fletcher and this is season 12. Tech on Toast podcast is serving up fresh chats with the sharpest minds in hospitality and tech. If you're looking to level up your ops, streamline your service, or just sprinkle a little tech magic into your business, you've come to the right place. And guess what? Our partners Lightspeed are back this season to look after us. They're the EPOS and payments platform helping over 165,000 businesses. Businesses such as Big Mama, Mildred's, Mallow, and Qubit House. They'll help you scale at, you guessed it, the speed of light. See what I did there? With real-time insights, faster transactions, and slick integrations with people like OpenTable, Xero, Muse, and many more, Lightspeed's unified platform is built to boost your performance and turn your tables quicker than you can say flat white, extra hot. So, if you need fast funding, check out Lightspeed Capital. No hidden fees, no interest charges, just smart support when you need it. If you're curious about all of this, just head over to lightspeed.co.uk/tech on toast and book yourself a free demo. You won't regret it. Now, enough of that. Ready for the next episode? Let's go. Welcome to the next episode of Tech on Toast podcast. And today, I'm going to say tonight. Is it tonight yet? No, this afternoon. I'm delighted to be joined by Mark Walsh, founder and CEO of Kwizzbit. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
All right, mate. And I must say, we've had, this is my fourth, as you can tell from my my introduction, this is my fourth guest today. And Mark has dressed properly. You've gone full tech,
I've gone full Mark Zuckerberg.
No socks.
No socks.
Box white trainers.
Canvas trousers, box white trainers, the black t-shirt. I just don't have the jewellery.
And if we'd been back in the day when I was in Leeds, we'd be shopping at Arc, wouldn't we?
We would. I used to work there.
Yeah, I remember. I know this. That's why I brought it up. So before I blither on about you and Leeds, tell people who you are and what you do.
My name's Mark Walsh. I am the founder and CEO of Kwizzbit. We are a live interactive quiz platform which allows people to quiz anyone on anything from anywhere, pretty much. I invented that, developed that, and we have thousands of hospitality venues all over the UK that use that as their regular pub quiz, along with other things that we do as well.
And do you know what? If I'd done my prep properly, I would have just brought along a quiz. Tell me you've got one. I've got your Liverpool. I've still got my Liverpool one live.
I've done you a Liverpool one.
My son's done it.
Yeah, and we've got loads of different quizzes there. So Kwizzbit's like the Netflix of quizzing, if you will.
Love that. You've practiced that.
I have practiced that. You can tell that this is staged. No, there's thousands of quizzes in there for you to do. And you can actually run an entire quiz night from your mobile phone. So we can give you guys more of these to play. And
have you been quizzing all your life? Well, how did you get to this point?
No, it's a bit of a story, and I won't give you the War and Peace version. I'll keep
don't,
it
because it's late, right?
As I can. Yeah, it's very late in the day. I started life as a journalism, fashion and journalism. I used to work down in London for all the lads mags, which is a completely different podcast, by the way.
Yeah, which ones?
I used to work for Maxim, but I also worked for a guy called James Brown who created Loaded, and we had magazines like Hot Dog and Viz and 40 and Times.
God, I remember Loaded very well. Yes,
they were very good days.
Was that before the internet? Am I being stupid or not?
No, we still had the internet, only just.
Right.
But yeah, it was hedonistic to say the least, but it was also a lot of fun, and also learned a lot actually.
Best decade ever.
Bring it back, shall we say. So I did that, moved back to Leeds, created my own magazine, which aesthetically it was wonderful, commercially it was awful. And then stumbled on an idea for a game that I'd always had called Rock and Roll Bingo, which is bingo with music instead of numbers. I created that, and that launched that actually, which is quite analog, but that became the fastest growing pub game in the UK for 4 or 5 years. It was a phenomenal journey. It really was.
You're quite the entrepreneur, aren't you? Did you ever have a proper job?
Yeah. Well, the magazines was a proper job.
Yeah, but was it?
Was it? Yeah. I used to work in clothes shops when I was younger, as we've discussed.
Yeah, but that was Arc as well. So you're a bit of too cool for school, aren't you?
Well, I've definitely been called worse than too cool for school. But yeah, done lots of different stuff. So yeah, and then effectively, I actually sold Rock and Roll Bingo in 2015 when I became a dad.
Wow.
Still a dad, still the best job in the world, but a lot of people within the hospitality industry were asking us what we were going to do next. We made an awful lot of friends in the hospitality industry who we still speak to this day, and Kwizzbit started life, to be honest, to stop people cheating in pub quizzes. That was basically the modus operandi.
Right, it's so much fun cheating.
I think there was a few things out there. There were some really good technical solutions out there, but they were very technical. They were very clunky, and you needed to have certain pieces of kit, and you needed certain pieces of Wi-Fi, and also certain pieces of technical knowledge. So could I create a cloud-based interactive quiz platform that people could use to run their pub quiz with little to no experience.
Yeah.
So if my mum could run it, then anyone can run it. So that was what we set out to do.
No offence, Mrs. Walsh.
No offence, Mrs. Walsh. But she can still run a quiz, by the way. But yeah, and it's now been played by over 500,000 people now in 47 countries, which is quite a bizarre.
That's pretty
standing.
cool, Mark. In my Brewdog studio, I used to have a little button that did clapping, but I haven't got one here. If I press it, it might break it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But you must be quite proud of that. That's quite of a cool achievement, right? To be able to roll that stat out.
Yeah, I think so. I think what we've learned an awful lot of is the challenges that hospitality faces. What is cool is getting to speak to lots of people on a regular basis. And what is very cool is being able to solve problems and work with them on certain challenges. And what you kind of get, or what we've got now, is something that, in truth, will never be finished.
Yeah.
But that makes every day different.
And I think, obviously, quizzing is great fun. And nearly everyone who's listening to this will have done it, right?
Yeah.
Or should have done a quiz at some point in their lives. But it's not just for the sake of it, is it? There's a reason why people put quizzes on. There's a commercial benefit, obviously, or meant to be a commercial benefit behind entertainment, or is that what you were?
Yeah,
is that a bracket you'd put yourselves in?
Definitely. I mean, I've been selling products to the hospitality industry now for almost 15 years, which I know I don't look a day over 21.
I was going to say. So rude, you beat me to it.
It is, yeah. But in that, there is an awful lot of challenges that hospitality faces. No more so than today, really.
Yeah.
I think there's an awful lot of things. I mean,
is it harder today? Yes.
I don't know.
Or different.
I launched Rock and Roll Bingo in 2007 when the smoking ban came in, and everybody said, "You're mad. What are you doing? You won't be able to get this out there." But for me, every venue that was out there saying nobody's coming in, we're not going to do anything about it, there was another 10 that said, right, we need to do something about this.
Yeah.
We need to drive value.
Yeah, I was one of them.
So can we then, or can I, provide a solution, and can our products provide a solution? Can we add value at a commercially viable price that will get bums on seats?
I think what's really interesting, the smoking ban you brought up there, for most of the generation that are in tech that I manage or work with, they probably won't be. What year was the smoking ban?
I think it was 2007.
So it was because I moved to Hard Rock in 2005. So it was pretty much straight after I was gutted. I smoked so much, it was just so annoying. Had to go outside or wait till we shut. Yeah. Is that legal? I'm not sure.
No, I mean I think I gave up about 10 years ago. So
yeah. So but it was a huge moment especially in the wet led industry. Obviously, I mean, it used to make me laugh. The smoking area in the restaurants. It was like, yeah, I'm in the non-smoking, but the guy next to me is in smoking. How's that ever going to work?
It was a big deal. Yeah. And I think it came, what came with that was an awful lot of people saying that hospitality is going to die.
Yeah. I remember it entirely.
Gone.
Yeah.
We're not going to see. And I think you see a lot of that today, and not to say that, we've got the smoking ban coming, but the challenges that we've got with the rates that people are now suffering, with the increase in minimum wage, and we can go on. But still, to this day, there is some amazing entrepreneurial hospitality operators who will turn around and will take that challenge and will hit it head on. And it's not just the individual operators. There's the operations teams.
Yeah.
There's the manager states. There's area managers. There's operations directors. And because people are so involved in this and so passionate about that industry, we get to learn a lot from those, but we can work alongside that to add value and to give them something that will drive footfall, which will offer them data capture, which will offer them the ability to be able to market and showcase. So, as much as we can turn around and build these tech products, what we're doing is we're building them, clearly or aligning that clearly with the challenges that people have got.
Yeah. No, and my dad said never waste a crisis, right?
Never ever waste a crisis.
So and I think out of every crisis comes some good, or comes some product that we may not have seen before, and that's exactly why. Was it? So is that time when you built it? Was it when you thought, right, I've got to do something to get people back in?
Well, 2007 was Smoking Man was when I created Rock and Roll Bingo. That was basically my foray into the hospitality
Your first
industry.
hit.
Yes, yeah. The dangerous second album.
See what I did. Yeah.
It's Kwizzbit. Yeah, I see what you did. Kwizzbit was born in 2017.
Right.
And as I say, the modus operandi was to stop people cheating in pub quizzes. Really, that was a challenge, a tech challenge.
Yeah.
I've never built a tech product. So to build a tech product without a tech background should come with a health warning. We got it to a stage when we first started it, and it was we built something that was relatively good. It worked. It had issues, as any early tech product does. When COVID hit, the whole point that we needed to address was that it wouldn't scale. We could only get around about 1,000 people in it without it sort of falling over, if you will.
Yeah.
And obviously with hospitality shutting down, what we did was we switched purely to online, but we switched to online for hospitality. So we had pubs running their regular pub quiz as they would always do on Teams using our software.
Gosh, it gives me PTSD.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Just remembering what that was like, it was crazy, wasn't it?
It was. But again, like you say, never waste a good crisis.
Yeah.
And not to put light on what COVID did to businesses and to human beings, but ultimately we were able to take something and we were able to invest in the platform, and we can now get over 1 million people in a single game.
1 million people.
1 million people in a single game.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we've scaled it out, and we've done, because of that, we're now able to do things like Kwizzbit Live, which is a live broadcasted quiz we can broadcast straight to venue.
I told you, didn't I, about my holiday? Did I tell you about the holiday thing with the quiz?
Oh,
So I stay at a Sensator. I'm not trying to be a big head, but I stay at
Nice.
Yeah, I stay at Sensator. It's the one treat we get a year, right? So I stay at the Sensator every year, and they have the one thing the kids, no matter what age they've got to, they love doing is that quiz at bloody 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And I'm you know what I'm like? I'm done. I've had my beers. I'm ready to go, bed or party, whatever. Yeah. And they want to do the quiz, and it's the most frustrating. If you're listening, please just ring this guy up and sort it out.
Yeah.
Because imagine trying to put probably 300 half cut. Well, it's same as the pub, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get them on, and the biggest part of the night is onboarding people onto the quiz, and they're all like scanning this. Oh, mate, it's another level, and it but it makes me think about you. Last year I was there because we'd met. I was thinking, I said he could kill this in seconds.
It is, and I mean the thing that we're building out now as well is we were allowing people to create their own quizzes as well. So we're building out, or we're expanding on what is our quiz builder. So you'll be able to create a quiz in under a minute. So you can create a quiz for yourself, entire quiz for a huge audience in under 1 minute.
Wow.
With what we're building, and that's being used an awful, great deal. But yeah, I mean things like TUI, holiday parks, hospitality venues, restaurants even. We've put together an always-on solution called Quizbit Solo, which is great, which is where we can put an entire quiz behind a QR code or a link. And what we can do is we can randomise the selection of those questions for each user as they play it and give them a certain amount of time.
Yeah, so you could sit in a casual high street dining type restaurant. Because I was in Elan. Do you know Elan? Elan Cafe. It's not really. You're not their target customer.
No, maybe not. I don't know.
They're like big pink kind of cafes with like beautiful cakes and everything.
I'm open to that.
It's very Instagrammable. Like I went in there for a meeting and I just felt like I shouldn't be there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, most teenage girls basically, and me.
Okay.
Didn't feel good. So it was a business meeting, so don't judge me.
No judge.
But anyway, I went to meet, and the lady in there works for a company called Cape Media.
Okay.
And they have built these digital, almost like tent cards. Remember tent cards?
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
So digital tent, God, they're going to kill me. But not digital tent, but they're ordering platforms that sit on the table. They're a unit.
Yep.
But you could play games on them.
Yep.
And do quizzes on them. No, you couldn't do quizzes, but my point is they should.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool to be able to quiz your customers on your brand in 2 or 3 questions. You know,
Absolutely.
just have some fun with them, basically.
Yeah, and we can do that with the product.
Yeah.
And what we built with Quizbit Solo is we can, as I say, put an entire quiz behind a QR. We've just done it with, and I'm all right to mention this, with the guys at Carling,
Yeah.
and a media agency called Mars, and we did a quiz with Carling and the FA. And we put 1,000 FA Cup questions, very difficult FA Cup questions actually, some of them, in a bank. And what we were able to then do is we created a competition from those 1,000 questions where whenever somebody scans the QR code to play that quiz, it will randomly select 12 from those questions. And what you can do is you can play that quiz. You get 5 attempts to try and beat your score. And then if you win at the end of the week, or you're a winner at the end of the week, or if you're a certain place in the table at the end of the week, you can win Premier League, I think it's Premier League football tickets or football tickets for the FA Cup. And that's been played over 32,000 times in 3 weeks, which is great, because what you get there is you get real competition, you get data capture, but you also get the ability to be able to engage with an audience wherever they are. So we're really happy with that, and we're going to be doing more of that
Quizzing baffles me because it's quite is it quite a British thing? Do you think? I don't know, but it's your numbers. Every time you quote a number, it's big.
It is. I think. Do you know what I think the easy thing is? I think quizzing is the same in Bangladesh as it is in Bognor Regis.
Right.
So it's like the word quiz.
Like where you going here?
But my point being is that a quiz is a universally recognised format.
Yeah.
What we're not trying to do is change the wheel. What we're not trying to do is introduce something, explain it at length, and then see if there is, any engagement there. What we're giving them is the ability to get straight in and quiz. And I mean, this is, not just with Solo, with Kwizzbit Live and with Kwizzbit what it is. Again, what we're doing is we're giving operators and anybody the chance to engage with their audience and interact with their audience, but we've got to make it simple. We've got to make it's like when you talked about the TUI side of things, the logging on, the onboarding, everything else. We want people to be able to build quizzes in under a minute. We want people
because they get away with it, right? Because you're sat on an island. There's not really a competitor to go to, right? You kind of sat there, you're a captive audience. But I think, that it's like everything in life now. People are impatient and they just want to get on.
They are, and I think as well one of the challenges that we saw, and this is one of the things that I suppose we pride ourselves on, but also something that we're constantly learning, is that if you give a piece of tech to a pub manager or a hospitality manager and you make it difficult to use, or you make it complicated to set up, or you have extra hardware to add in, straight away what you're doing there is giving a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Without trying to make ourselves out to be Amazon, if you will. Amazon, you can go in, you can pick your product, it's in your basket, and you've paid for it before you've actually turned around and realised how much it cost. With Kwizzbit, you can create a quiz, you can broadcast it to your audience live, you can play it in your venue. All your customers do is scan the QR code, put a name in, and they're in.
I don't think it's. I think comparing to Amazon is the right thing to do because actually, I'm not. Obviously, the breadth of Amazon, you're not comparing to that. But the point you're making is that actually the simplicity of using Amazon, where my mum and dad can now shop, and all the other people over the pandemic that would never have got there originally. I think that's the ability you want to provide, isn't it? Or that seamless experience, where they don't have to think. The minute you start making people think about anything, it becomes difficult. You've got kids, right? The minute you put a barrier up in front of them, the bedroom's not getting clean, mate. It's got to be simple. No, it's like a gun to the head. Do it, or I'll kill you.
Yeah, they've got to be able to scroll, or they've got to be able to get on the Xbox pretty quick.
I'll give you some PlayStation vouchers, whatever it might be. Yeah. But it's that seamless ability to be able to connect to a product like you would a human. Because if in the old days before there was tech, there would have been a dude walking around with a pot of pens and a handful of paper, putting them out on each table, right? I used to run them in the Beefeater back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we have a real ethos with what we do, is that you can we can make it quicker to enter a Kwizzbit quiz than it is to go to the bar and get a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to be able to do. So we're not taking away, through the additional element that you've got with the pen and paper quiz. But the other thing that we're not trying to do with Kwizzbit is we're not trying to turn around and replace every quiz that's out there and make it a digital quiz.
Yeah.
You've got quizzes that have been running for years. Derek, who's done it for 2 pints, every week, who gets 50 people coming in. We don't want to go in there and say, you need to take that out and put this interactive.
Yeah, it's choice, isn't it?
It's choice.
Yeah.
And what we can do with Kwizzbit is you can run these as a round between your quiz. You can do a full night of it. You can do a music round at the end of your quiz. You can pick the TNT Sports Champions League quiz. You can turn around and run a Harry Potter quiz. There's so many different ways of doing it.
I love the idea that you could sit in the and I think these regular type places, like as in where you wouldn't normally experience a quiz, like in restaurants or those that you mentioned before. I love that fact that you could just make something, because sometimes I've sat there and thought,
honestly,
how you love.
Yes. I would like to speak to you, but what I'd much prefer to do.
Yeah. Look, Mark's got a new quiz here. Let's just do that instead. And genuinely, me and Kerry, we've been together 20 odd years. Having a quiz put in front of us will enable us to have a better chat sometimes, because we've done most chats.
I mean, honestly, if my wife hears the word quiz one more time, I think
I can't even imagine.
I might have to stay down in London, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, with the word quiz and with the format being very universal, we can make any product interactive. We've got beer mats out there with QR codes on. We can put it into an app. We could put it on a receipt, and it's having the ability to be able to create these things at scale. And then what you can do with this, and this is the one thing that still surprises me, to be honest with you, is that people want to prove how much they know against someone else. So me and you sit here as football fans. If you gave me a Leeds United quiz to do now, I had to get Leeds in there. Sorry, we have.
It's fine. We'll do Liverpool in a minute.
Then I would sit there and I'd be like, right, give me it, and I would have a go, and I would try and beat my score. And a lot of the people that I know that are Leeds fans of a similar ilk would turn around and say, we'll do that if I give you a Liverpool quiz.
Yeah.
So it's this sort of thing, and what never fails to amaze me is how people will sit there, and they will say, I'm not bothered for the quiz. I don't want to. And I've seen this, and then they'll turn around and there'll be a question. They'll go, oh, I knew that. And they'll go,
but that's like the old adage of watching telly.
Where's the QR code? Can I scan the QR? And they'll start playing.
Yeah.
And again, it comes back down to this whole making it so accessible and so easy for them to get in and start doing it and start using it. That solves the problem, really. So that's...
No, that made me laugh because it reminds me of Christmas with my mum. You're watching a game show, and and she's like, "Oh, I know it." Never knows it, never gets it right. Always interrupts other people. But I think there's something about that inclusion of a quiz that everybody can have a go right, and it's quite nice because you can get it wrong and not feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up in pubs, like just having the best times ever doing that, and the best nights were. And I'm not even sure how much money we made, but it was packed.
It's honestly, I mean, literally, again, what we have to do as well with what we produce, it has to be commercially viable for the venue. So we do things at scale, and that allows us to cost this. I mean, we've got. I don't know if I'm all right to mention it, but we've got
you go for it.
New,
you're dropping names all over the place.
And doing the sales pitch. We have an offer now for any hospitality venue or any venue, to be honest with you. And they can have 3 months worth of the entire Kwizzbit platform for £60, which is less than £5 a week to do as many as you want. Now, obviously, that's a 3-month offer where you get the whole thing, you get the whole platform, music quizzes, everything that goes in there. And what you're able to do at the end of that is decide, look, where does it fit within my business?
Yeah.
So for less than £5 a week, you can have 3 months worth of interactive quizzing. And then what you can do is you can choose to take on the subscription if you want to do from there. And even at that, it comes in at less than £10, £11 a week to do as many as you want. So it's less than a couple of pints.
And the reality is that if you think about it, most quizzes are generally full, right? Generally, you get a decent crowd in, and you're talking minimum 30, 50 people. And they're all going to buy a drink, at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And you're already ahead.
It is, and it's what amazes me as well is where people put these things. So we've got an auto-host feature now in Kwizzbit. So what you can do is you can pick from thousands of quizzes, and you can literally, we've got I know you know the guys at Startled and those guys. We integrate with those guys, and you can put Kwizzbit, and you can get Kwizzbit on any screen for that matter. And what you can do is you can pick a quiz, and you can just auto-host the whole thing. So you can do it as when you've got a bit of downtime in the venue. You can do it before a Champions League game. You could run a 12-question quiz at lunchtime, which people take part in. But again, that comes down to listening and working with hospitality venues who have got 1,001 different things to do, from changing a barrel to, sorting out next week's menu.
And that you talked about that fact that you didn't have that experience of building anything, and then you've done it. How do you feel coming out? I mean, I know, as you said, it never ends. That's the same for all tech companies, I think, until you exit. But how do you feel coming out the other side a little bit? Because obviously you've built it, sold it a few times now, and you're in the other end of it.
How do I feel?
Or as in, what did you learn, I suppose, from that experience? Because you're a similar age to me, probably.
Yeah.
We think we know everything until we don't know everything.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what I learned. So how does it make me feel? It makes me feel very tired.
Need my slippers.
It's very important to have the right people in the right seats.
Yeah.
As a business, and to come back to what we're building. We need to make sure that and I don't mean the right people in terms of just skill set. They have to be brought into what we're trying to do, and everyone has to have the same sort of idea of what we're trying to get to, because that makes life a lot easier. Because what you then do is the challenges that you face, you're always then looking at the bigger picture. And
I feel like you're speaking from kissing a few frogs potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I've failed a lot. But once you fall over, you can learn so much from all your cuts and bruises. Yeah. And what you can do with that is you can then turn around and take that into what you do. And that, for me, not that I like falling over and getting cuts and bruises, is the fascinating part that then allows you to do it. But as long as you keep talking to your customers, as long as you keep iterating and moving and keep the momentum going, which is easier said than done on some days.
I was going to say, how much do you think you've dined out on your... Because you're a lovely guy, and I think people obviously trust you. How much do you think in the early days were you dining out on Mark rather than the product? As in, how much do you feel like you've had any allowance?
I like well you probably gathered I like talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I find it hard to say no.
If you put me on a stage in front of people, what I like to do is I love feedback. I love talking to people. I love listening to what people have challenges I've got, and it doesn't just have to be hospitality. It can be anything. I mean, Kwizzbit is played in schools. It's played in hotels, in restaurants, in bars. The solo product that we're now building. That's got so many verticals that it can move into. And I think there is part of it where my enthusiasm, I think, does get attached in part to what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But I think that, like I say, having right people in the right seats. But
Well navigated.
Yeah, I think so. But I enjoy people. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy making friends. I enjoy speaking to you. I love what you're doing with Tech on Toast.
Oh, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing with Tech on Toast.
Love what you're doing with Tech on Toast. But you've got people like Jade who does CompSoc.
Yeah. I think that's what's nice recently about hospitality. There's a lot of these little communities popping up.
Exactly.
Because that's what they are, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I actually think good products are communities. I see Kwizzbit as that.
Yeah.
I know you're a product and you're a company. I get that. But I see it as the way people probably. I don't know enough about your company to know this, but I imagine that people interact with you and want to get involved with you because of who you are and also what you've built and the fact that it's such a nice thing to sell. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but it feels like such a warm thing to sell in terms of the fact that you're bringing people together.
Yeah.
It's like selling food. Like you're kind of bringing people together and they're having fun and they're hanging out with each other and learning.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think because there's so many different, we can attach Kwizzbit to so many different genres and so many different verticals. And what you can also do is you can turn around, and make them genre specific.
Yeah.
So we had a guy in Sheffield not so long ago, and he did it was like a Harry Potter themed quiz.
Yeah.
And he fair play to him. He was in a student area, and he planned it. And we gave him the tech. He used the Harry Potter quiz, which is in the system. He did 4 rounds. He took £2,800 on his bar take in one night. From a quiz.
How much?
£2,800.
Wow.
I mean, people were getting dressed up and coming in and all this sort of stuff. We did one with Brewdog. We did a Friends quiz across every single Brewdog
Oh my
venue.
God, my missus would love that.
Oh my God, it was amazing. They sold out at pretty much every single venue. And
Friends, again, I hate to interrupt, but Friends is such an interesting concept that you can put that on anytime. I suppose it again depends on your age, but my son's 18 who loves it, and me and Kerry, when we're having dinner, if we can't find something to watch, we tend to put that on just to cope for that half an hour, whatever it is. And not that we can't talk to each other. It's not running properly.
There's a theme here. I'm going to have to get you some more quizzes, I think.
Jesus. Oh, gosh, she's going to kill me. But she doesn't listen anyway, don't worry about it. But it's... that I find that it's really interesting that it's like quizzing it. It's comfortable, it's like an old pair of slippers you can put on and you feel okay. And I think a lot of people want that. I think a lot of people have had a crap time for a long time. Yep. The world is not very nice and hasn't been for 10 years. Yep. And I think it's getting worse. And I actually think people do it like coming together when people were worried about the pub and worried about its existence and still are, rightly so. One thing the pub can do that nothing else can do is bring people together in that and kind of have a giggle, hang out with your old mates, talk about some serious stuff. Blokes like us probably talk about the most serious things in that place, nowhere else. So mental health, male problems, and I'm not dissing the women here, I'm just giving us a moment, just let us have a moment. But like for blokes in the pub, that's stands its test of time, and it's a really good place to be for a lot of people. It's very important to a lot of people, and I think stuff like Kwizzbit just solidifies that a little bit more and gives them the opportunity to do it. I'm not trying to sell your product, I'm just talking openly about quizzing.
I think you're right to talk about men or blokes or whatever we want to talk about, and the cliche that can sometimes be seen is it's blokes down the pub and it's various other things, but
there's a reason why.
There is a reason, and
because she wants to watch Friends,
and it's football midweek, Champions League midweek drives people to pubs, but it's not just about driving people to pubs. It's where you can go and have some banter and have some talk about.
I go to meet my one friend, so and it's true, and I think it's and I don't want to separate men and women, but it is like that. Everyone has to have their place to go. Kerry has her friends as she goes to the seas. Generally, they go around to each other's houses and drink wine or whatever they do, and just slag me off. But I with me, I like to watch football or do whatever, but really don't care about the football. Probably, I just like being with my mate.
That's the interesting point as well, because the amount of conversation that can go on during a football match, you'd think that the football match wasn't going on.
Yeah, you don't even watch it.
No.
But hey,
And it's the same with this thing. You know, people are like, oh, that was a... Do you remember? And then the questions themselves. I mean, there is a bit of a science of putting the questions together. I mean, we've got over 35,000 questions in the database, and there's always something that comes up in a quiz where people go, oh, do you remember the Goonies? What a movie that was.
I'm an expert on that.
Yes.
And can you still write your own? Because one of the best things about the pub quiz was your name, right?
Yeah.
The team name.
Yes.
So the ability is still there to do that.
Yes. You can still
Very
put your own
cool.
team. You can... Yeah.
I'm going to make... have you got the ability to spin up a quiz?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to do my best Steve Jobs impression here. So you've got over 1,000 quizzes in your
Not
pocket.
only is he dressed like him.
Yeah. So basically, I don't know where I'm pointing that.
You can go this one.
Yeah, so basically, that is your Quizbit account. You can log into your Quizbit account from here. And what I can do from here... Do you have a mobile phone?
Yeah.
Right, if you grab your mobile phone for me.
Do I have a mobile? I mean, I know I'm old.
Do you have a mobile phone? So what you've got in here is thousands of quizzes that you can choose from. You can build your own. I'm not going to build one for you now. I'm going to play you a little demo quiz.
We've got a Goonies one.
In here, no. So all that you do is that's a QR code. So
okay.
all that you do, Chris, is you scan that QR code for me.
This is like live tech on the
There you
podcast.
go. Click play as a guest at the bottom. And then what you'll do is put your name in. And then we're going to do a quiz with you.
Okay.
You're on.
No.
Okay, so I've got red men in there. I know exactly where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Champions. Right, okay, I'm going to start the quiz from here. So all you do, as I say, without giving you the full tech demo, this is your host screen, that is your player screen. I can run an entire quiz night from this thing, but what I'm going to do is...
in a hospitality scenario right now, this could be on a screen.
It could, or it doesn't have to be. So
Or it
what
could
you've
be
got,
on the handsets.
Absolutely, yeah. So what you've got people that will basically ping up a quiz on their phone, they will walk around the venue, everyone will scan the QR code, and they'll run the entire thing from the mobile phone.
Very cool.
Because what happens is you'll see on your device. Your first question is this: which US state appears in a bottle of Jack Daniel's whiskey? Tap which one you think it is and click confirm. Which one's you going to click?
Oh, God, I'm
got
so embarrassed.
Tennessee,
You can tell people
Texas, Alabama, or Washington. Tap which it is. Click confirm. You click Tennessee, you got it right. So you get it right for... you get points for getting it right. You also get points for speed of answer. So that's not a bad
Can I
bad
retire now?
start. No, you've got to keep going, I'm afraid. Which two of the following were the names of Harry Potter's parents?
Okay.
So
Double
you've gotta
points.
Tap two of them, click confirm, lock your answer in, go. Which of those two were the names of Harry Potter's parents? Get that one's locked in.
Look how fast I went there.
Answered. That was very fast. Very fast. 279
Can I
points.
just say that I'm going to win?
Now, I'm really interested to see if you get this one. Name the year. Black and White by Michael Jackson was number one. Leeds United were the champions of England, and Aladdin was released in the cinemas. Now, for this, Chris, you've got to tap in the box, type in the full year, and click confirm. You can be 1 out or 2 out either side. Go.
You've done this before.
Your keypad is on your phone now. We have gone. What did you go for?
98.
1992.
What?
It was the old First Division before it became the
Was
Premier
Michael
League.
Jackson dead in 98?
No, he was still alive in '98. I think just maybe.
Oh, was the
Might be
Premier?
one
Didn't you win the Premier? Did you ever win the Premier League?
It was the year before the Premier League
We've
started.
won it 20 times.
Really? How many times have you won the Champions League, Chris?
6.
Sorry. Next question.
Go on, Ron.
Tap the following lyrics in the order
yes.
of what Rick Astley would never do to you. Feel free to have a sing along.
Never gonna give me up.
So tap those.
I'm
in
really
the
enjoying myself.
Correct order. Good.
Oh, never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you.
There you go.
That's a great question.
Answers are locked in.
Sorry if you're enjoying this on the podcast.
157 points.
I'm
for
flying.
Chris there.
Abby Sims, if you're watching, you
Well
wouldn't
done.
even be close to this.
Right, I've got 2 more questions. True or false? By weight, the liver is the largest internal organ.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that true or is
My
that
liver
false?
or?
That would be something. Okay. it is
Yes!
true.
I knew that. I was just
You're on for a good score
messing
here,
you.
know. Right, your final question is this. Who voiced this character? So I'm going to show you guys that. There's
I
a
know
picture
this.
there. Who provided the voice for that character? You've got 4 options. Tap which one you think it is and confirm your answer now.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people go for Will Smith here.
They do,
Yeah,
actually.
It's Gen Z.
Which I've noticed. Your correct answer, of course, is Robin Williams. This is not a bad score.
Yeah. Well,
So
I only
what I'm
got
going to do,
one wrong.
the final leaderboard is, only you on it, 954 points. But nationally, so this is a national quiz,
Yeah.
are you in the top 10? No. But you did do very well.
What does that mean? That all those people got 100%?
Yeah, so the national at the minute is...
These sad people.
Someone by Quizmaster.
Get out more.
The new in Little Eaton, you're second with that.
I mean, I've got to be honest. There's one guy here called For Fox's Sake.
Yes. That's a good quiz name, to be fair.
Sad Wags. Okay, yeah. We're
So-
staying up.
So, yeah.
Oh, my God. Look at number 1. You need to change your number 1 is.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that?
I really, but that's my point. I think, and the reason I wanted to do it on this because to show how much. Because for a minute there, I actually forgot we were doing a podcast.
Sorry,
so,
yeah, no, I
no,
think
but
I did as well.
I think for me, obviously it's a tech product and it's something that needs to be commercialized and people have got also, the customers obviously are also making their money out of it by putting these events on. But the point is, it's never going away.
Yeah.
But it needs to get better in terms of intuitive, the fact that what you're doing in terms of you're bringing it to a new market.
Yeah.
Because the market will change, right? People get older, people move on, and the younger market going to come through and want to still do this kind of stuff, but in their way and quickly, which I think you've built, right?
Yeah, again, and what we can do is we can adapt it for different audiences and different genres and different clients and different customers by changing and adapting the content. So as I say, we've just done the FA Cup quiz. We've got sports quizzes going out soon with TNT Sports. We've got lots of different quizzes in there. We just did one for the Grand National. So anybody that wants a quiz, either on product, in venue, live, auto hosted.
You're the man.
I am doing my best sales pitch.
I don't care. I'm listening. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, though you can use Kwizzbit for it, but ultimately, like I say, it'll never be finished.
I just feel for your missus. You keep saying that she hears the word quiz. I can't imagine. Do your kids play the quiz?
So my son is 9 years of age.
Oh my God, that's all he does,
the
isn't
other
it?
week, he said, Dad, and he said this to me and his mum. He said, Dad, I really want the Kwizzbit logo graffitied on my wall.
She's kicking you out.
That didn't go down very well.
And what about the future? So, you're doing all this stuff. Carling, that you talked about, the sports quizzes are coming out. What's going to happen, or what would you like to happen, or what is happening in the next 12 months?
Yeah, so the Quiz Builder, we're going to improve on the ability for people to be able to build an entire quiz in under a minute. What we do want is we want to scale that out.
Yeah.
The solo side of things is a great piece of kit, and we're going to be introducing that more into the front end so people can actually turn around and do them for themselves and create their own reporting and everything else. There's also going to be reward and recognition coming into all that thing and all that sort of stuff. I think we're developing something that's, as I say, going to grow. But what we want to do is continue to add value where we can.
Well, I think you are, and I know some of the. We're about to do some work with Green King at the moment, actually, and I know you guys. Are you already working there?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, those guys are great. We love them.
So we're doing some work with them for the tented side. So obviously Kwizzbit will have to be at the front of that. Yeah. But we're super excited. We don't really have much work in wet lead world. Yep. We met with Nightcap last week. We're doing some stuff with them. So, but yeah, very interesting. Look, and if the most important question is if people want to find out more about you and where you got your clothes.
Yes. They can learn all about my fashion sense if they wish.
How do they reach out to you?
So you can get us at Kwizzbit.com, which is spelled KWIZZBIT.com. All your social channels at Kwizzbit, LinkedIn, and all that sort of stuff. If you want me, I am Mark James Walsh on LinkedIn and Mark James Walsh 1, I think.
And were you ever on the stage?
I have been on stage.
Because when we did the Kwizzbit then, you proper wanted to Quizmaster mode.
Yeah. I professionally, I've never been on a stage professionally.
I think you've got a calling, my friend.
Always unprofessional.
These tables should be turned. So you should do the quiz. I mean, I'm not being funny, but the Kwizzbit podcast, I'd be tuning in every week.
Well, funny enough,
get on that. I know you haven't got any time, but do it anyway.
Well, you asked what we were doing. That is part of one of the plans that we're doing. We're going to do more with the pod. Well, we're going to do some more Kwizzbit live.
Yeah.
So more live events. So we're going to be broadcasting live to venues all over the country with Kwizzbit Live. So you'll be able to turn on your Kwizzbit account, log into Kwizzbit Live, and you're going to be able to take part in a live game show. So.
Wow, it's my dream. Okay, look, lovely to meet you, mate. Thank you for coming all the way down here in this 95 degree. What is it like? It's hot.
It's hot, but it's lovely. I do like London in the sun. It's great.
It's a bit minging. No, because I'm not really dressed for we can get to this later.
Well, I get to get on the train back to Leeds. You see, so
are you literally going straight back up?
I'm going to go straight back up. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you very much, mate. Lovely to see you. Wave bye to the cameras.
Bye.
Where are they? All over the place. All right. Cheers, mate. All right. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.